Hi everybody, my name is Christopher Rocky, Director of Education at Mortgage Resolution Services. Mortgage Resolution Services is a subsidiary of Fidelity National Financial, our nation's largest real estate provider. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about short sales and some problems that you may have, and I actually had an agent tell me recently up in the Pacific Northwest that loss mitigation is a conundrum wrapped in a mystery surrounded by an enigma, and I thought that was the perfect analogy. I'm going to try to identify why some of the issues that are underlying or that may be more apparent to you in the loss mitigation conundrum. First of all, if you haven't seen my video on the pooling and service agreement, make sure you take a quick peek at that. Because remember, the pooling and service agreement defines the nature of the relationship between the servicer and the investor on all mortgage-backed securities. Okay? Now, whoever that investor is a completely different story, but now I'm going to talk to you about a concept called NPNs, or non-performing notes. Remember, you can have a first mortgage and a second mortgage, and they're both sold off to completely separate investors. Now, I had somebody recently tell me how frustrated they were because they had two loans, single lien only, both with the exact same lender. They seemed like they were both in the same price range, but one of them took a year to get approved. There was no outside junior liens or anything. It still took a year. While the other one, same lender, same general loan amount, was able to get an approval in 15 days. That absolutely makes no sense, and it makes these lenders look like they don't know what they're doing. But the truism, or there's a little bit of truthiness to more of the fact that not only do they know what they're doing, but they're following the bylaws of their pooling and service agreement. You can take a non-performing note, and there is a completely separate market of investors that are willing to purchase these non-performing notes. Let's say that you and I put together $100,000 and we're able to find some non-performing notes, okay? And we go up to our good friends at Goldman Sachs and we say, hey, Mr. Goldman and Mr. Sachs, can we buy some non-performing notes from you? And what would be the point of buying a non-performing note, right? It's just an asset that's becoming more and more of a liability. But to us as an investor, if Goldman Sachs gives it to us for nickels on the dollar, sure, it might take 2, 3, 4 months for the property to go to foreclosure, but eventually we're going to be able to capitalize on that non-performing note. So the concept is this: I buy a non-performing note, let's call it for an average of 25 cents on the dollar, right? Property 3 months later goes to foreclosure. We sell it as an REO at 75 cents on the dollar. As an investor, I just made a huge profit. Now, non-performing notes are generally bundled up and they're sold in the hundreds of millions and sometimes billions. So we are going to start seeing those a little bit more through 2010. Because non-performing notes are being gotten rid of by some of these investors, you're going to see things that may not make sense, like that short pay refinance, where all of a sudden the lender is saying, yeah, no problem, I'll take that horrible offer, right? And you're thinking, well, I thought you wanted a fair market value offer. Now, listen, I'm not saying that's going to be the case every time, but make sure that you're familiar with the concept of a non-performing note. If you have any more questions on that, please feel free to email me. I would be happy to help you with that. My email address is Rocky, ROCKEY, @mresolution.com.